5 years ago, I could put a broke college kid in a brand new car for about $14,000. That car is dead now. So is the one that replaced it. So today, I am going brand by brand through the cheapest new car every Japanese brand still sells, and which ones are worth your money. Number 1, Toyota. The cheapest new Toyota you can walk into a dealership and buy is the Corolla LE, and it starts at just under $24,000 once you count the destination charge. Under the hood is a 2.0-liter, 4-cylinder, making 169 horsepower, bolted to a CVT. But here is the part I actually like. Toyota gave this CVT a real physical first gear, so when you pull away from a stop sign, it feels like an actual transmission instead of a rubber band with anxiety. I have driven a lot of these Corollas, and the thing just refuses to die. The base LE gets better fuel economy than the sportier trims because it rides on smaller wheels, so you are looking at around 35 miles per gallon combined. Blind spot monitoring is finally standard this year too, and the maintenance is dirt cheap. If you can stretch a little, the Corolla Hybrid sits just above this, and it is the cheapest hybrid in America, which is a heck of a deal. My tip on the gas one: change the CVT fluid around every 60,000 miles, even though Toyota acts like it is lifetime fluid. Lifetime fluid means the life of the warranty, not the life of the car. Do that, and a Corolla will outlive your mortgage. But if the Corolla is the safe pick, the next one is the one everybody in the comments swears is better. Number 2, Honda. Honda's cheapest car is now the Civic LX, and it runs you about $24,600. It has got a 2.0-liter 4-cylinder with 150 horsepower, and you guessed it, another CVT. Now the Civic drives like a more expensive car than it is. The cabin feels a class above the Corolla, and I will give Honda that all day. But it is properly slow. 0 to 60 takes the better part of 10 seconds, so plan your highway merges like you are planning a wedding. And look down at the base LX, and you are riding on 16-inch steel wheels with plastic covers, which is the car version of a clip-on tie. You also get a tiny 7-inch screen and 4 speakers, so nobody is throwing a concert in there. Here is what actually stings though. The Civic used to be the car you bought your kid a stick shift in. Now the only manual transmission left in the whole Civic family lives in the SY and the Type R, and those are thousands of dollars more. The cheap manual Honda is gone. What saves the Civic is resale. It holds its value better than almost anything in the class, so that extra money you pay up front, you claw a lot of it back when you sell. My advice on the base one is to skip the dealer's overpriced air filter service and swap that engine air filter yourself in your driveway in about 4 minutes. It is 2 clips and a lid. Therefore, if you want cheap and you want something that feels special, there is one brand doing it better than anybody. Number 3, Mazda. The cheapest Mazda is the Mazda 3 in 2.5S trim, and it lands just under $26,000. And I'm going to say something that is going to start a fight in my comments. The Mazda 3 is the best cheap car on this entire list, and it is not even close. You get a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder with 186 horsepower, which walks away from the Corolla and the Civic. But the real reason I love it is what is bolted to that engine. It is a plain old 6-speed automatic, not a CVT. A real torque converter automatic with real gears, the kind I trust to go 200,000 miles without a $5,000 surprise. The interior looks like it wandered out of a car twice the price, and even the base model comes with blind spot monitoring and adaptive cruise. You can even get all-wheel drive on it, which almost nothing else in this class offers. I will be honest about the downsides. The back seat is tight and the trunk is small, so it is not the pick for a growing family. But it runs on regular gas, it is a real pleasure to drive, and Mazda quietly walked up market and left the bargain basement behind. Keep up with oil changes every 5,000 miles because that engine likes clean oil and it will reward you. But not every cheap Japanese car has a happy ending. This next one used to wear the crown, and now it is in the ground. Number 4, Nissan. Here is the sad one. For years, the cheapest new car in all of America was the Nissan Versa, and this past December, Nissan killed it. Production ended, and the last truly cheap new car in the country went with it. At the end, it still stickered right around $20,000. And the manual version, the very last cheap stick shift on the market, they axed even before that. So Nissan's cheapest is now the Sentra at right around $23,800. It has got a 149 horsepower, 2.0-liter four-cylinder engine, and of course, a Nissan CVT. And we need to talk about that CVT because you all blow up my comments every single time I bring it up. Nissan has been getting sued over these things for the better part of a decade. Old Sentras, old Versas, Altimas, Rogues, Pathfinders, they all got dragged into it, and even an Infiniti. And the complaints did not magically stop on the newer ones. I had a guy roll into my shop with a Sentra that shuddered and jerked every time he crept through traffic, and the quote to replace that CVT was north of $5,000 on a car barely worth more than that. So my honest take is this: if you buy one, baby the transmission, change that CVT fluid early and often, and never let it overheat crawling up a long grade in summer. And I said it years ago in my video on which Japanese engines run forever, the engine was never the problem with these. It is what is behind it. If you want a Nissan on a budget, I would steer you toward the Little Kicks crossover instead, for about the same money, but that CVT question follows you either way. But if you think that is a rough story, wait until you hear what Mitsubishi did. Number 5. Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi used to sell the Mirage, which was the cheapest new car in America, a little econo-box you could drive off the lot for around $16,000. They killed it too. So now the cheapest new Mitsubishi is the Outlander Sport, starting at just under $25,000. And here is where I get a little hot. That little crossover is running a design that first showed up around 2010. That is not a car, that is a rerun. Some of the people buying it are younger than the platform they are sitting in. It has got a 148 horsepower engine, another CVT, and it is slow enough that you have to plan your highway merges ahead of time. Even Kelley Blue Book ranks it dead last among small crossovers, and a Hyundai Kona or a Kia Seltos beats it in almost every way that matters. In its defense, standard all-wheel drive is nice at that price, and Mitsubishi's warranty is actually great, 10 years or 100,000 miles on the powertrain. But watch this. The destination fee on this thing is $1,745, one of the highest in the whole industry, so the $25,000 number is a fantasy the second you sign. My tip: if you do want the cheap warranty and the all-wheel drive, negotiate hard, because dealers discount these heavily and that sticker is very soft. But speaking of standard all-wheel drive, one brand built its entire personality around it. Number 6. Subaru. Subaru's cheapest car is the Impreza, and for 2026 they did something sneaky. They deleted the old base trim entirely, so now the cheapest way into an Impreza is the sport trim at just under $28,000 with destination. What you are really paying for is the thing no other cheap car on this list gives you. Standard all-wheel drive on every single one. It has got a 152 horsepower boxer engine and, yes, a CVT, though Subaru's has held up far better than you know whose. This is the cheapest true all-wheel drive new car you can buy, and if you live where it snows sideways, that matters more than horsepower. It is worth knowing Subaru also just killed off the Legacy sedan, so the lineup is shrinking too. If you are getting something out of this, take 1 second and hit subscribe. I break down cars like this every week. Now here is my one warning on the Subaru. Those boxer engines have a long reputation for drinking oil. Subaru got hit with a class action over how much oil these engines burn on a stretch of older models years back, and I have topped off more Subarus than I can count over the years. So do not treat it like a Toyota you check twice a year. Pop the hood on your Impreza once a month, pull the dipstick, and actually look. So keep a spare quart of the correct oil in the trunk. On these engines, that is just smart. The upside is Subaru throws in 2 years of free maintenance. so at least the early oil changes are on them. But now we leave the normal world behind, because from here on, the word cheap gets insulting. Number 7, Acura. Acura is Honda's luxury brand, and their cheapest car is the Integra, starting north of $33,000. And I want you to keep that Civic from earlier in your mind, because here is the magic trick. The Integra shares its bones with the Honda Civic. Same platform, same 1.5-liter turbo 4 making 200 horsepower, same basic guts. Acura wraps it in a nicer interior, throws a fancier badge on the hood, and charges you the better part of $9,000 more. Now I will be fair, it is a really nice car and it is quick. It is also one of the only cars on this whole list where you can still get a manual on the upper trim. Acura also throws in free maintenance and a slightly longer warranty, which claws back a little of that premium. And if you want the crossover instead of the sedan, Acura will sell you the ADX, which is the exact same badge trick played on a cheaper Honda crossover. But make no mistake, you are paying a serious premium for a dressed-up Civic. If badges do not move you, that fact should. Same maintenance as the Honda, by the way, which means it is cheap to own even if it was not cheap to buy. But if you think a fancy Civic is a stretch, watch what Lexus does with a Toyota. Number 8, Lexus. The cheapest Lexus you can buy is the UX, and it starts at just over $38,000. It is a small hybrid crossover. A 2.0-liter 4-cylinder paired with electric motors gives you a combined 196 horsepower, and it sips fuel like a champ, better than 40 miles per gallon. It is a lovely little thing, and the base model is well equipped with synthetic leather and power seats standard. But here is what Lexus does not put on the window sticker. That UX rides on the same basic platform as the Toyota Corolla Cross, and a Corolla Cross starts around $26,000. So you are handing Lexus roughly $12,000 extra dollars for softer seats, a quieter cabin, and a Lexus badge. And here is the kicker that gets people, at that price it is still front-wheel drive. All-wheel drive costs you another $1,570 on top. To be clear, it is a great car, the resale is fantastic, and it will run forever. But never let anybody tell you the cheapest Lexus is a bargain. It is a very nice Toyota renting you a nicer emblem. On the upside, being a Toyota hybrid underneath, the maintenance is easy, and that hybrid battery will go far longer than the internet fearmongers claim. But hold on to something, because this last one is the one that made me put my coffee down. Number 9, Infiniti. Infiniti is Nissan's luxury arm, and I want you to guess their cheapest new car before I say the number. You ready for this one? The cheapest thing Infiniti will sell you is the QX60, a 3-row family SUV, and it starts at $51,200. That is the floor, and there is nothing cheaper anywhere in the lineup. Infiniti took a hard look at the affordable market and just walked away from the whole thing. They killed the Q50 sedan, they killed the smaller QX50 and QX55, and now the entry point to the entire brand is a $50,000 SUV. Under the hood is a clever 2.0-liter variable compression turbo making 268 horsepower. And credit where it is due, they finally bolted it to a real 9-speed automatic instead of the CVT that got the old QX60 dragged into that Nissan lawsuit I mentioned earlier. But let me put my mechanic hat on for a second. That variable compression engine is a seriously complicated machine, with moving parts a normal engine does not have, and complicated usually means pricier when something wears out down the road. So if you buy one, keep it under warranty and stay on top of your oil changes. It is a solid, properly fancy family hauler. But calling it Infiniti's cheapest car is almost a joke, because it costs more than double the cheapest Nissan sitting in the showroom next door. That is a brand that gave up on regular people. So there it is. Every Japanese brand and the cheapest thing they will hand you, and the picture is uglier than it used to be. The sub $20,000 car is gone. Base trims are getting stripped, and the badges keep climbing. If it were my money on the line, I would take that Mazda 3 and never look back, but you may see it differently, and I want to hear it in the comments. Before you click away though, everything I just told you is about how these cars start life. What really matters is how they finish it. So we took a Toyota V6, a Honda V6, and a Nissan V6, all with over 200,000 miles on the clock, and tested them to see which one is still healthy inside and which one is quietly falling apart. One of them genuinely surprised me. Go watch that video next, because if you are ever buying used instead of new, that test will save you real money. I will see you there.